Back in the book segment tonight, as promised, a report on why President Obama is often caught by surprise when bad things happen.
I heard on the news about this story that Fast and Furious, where allegedly guns were being run into Mexico.
Well, let me take the IRS situation first. I first learned about it from the same news reports that I think most people learned about this.
The stunning news today: for almost 5 years, President Obama had no idea the U.S. was tapping the personal cell phone of German Chancellor Angela Merkel and 35 other world leaders.
Joining us now from Reno, Nevada, Ambassador James Woolsey, who was CIA Director from 1993 to 95 under President Clinton. So, it's kind of hard to believe that the leader of the United States is so clueless. Putin in Crimea didn't know. ISIS coming down from Syria, caught by surprise. VA scandal, doesn't know. How do you explain it?
Well, Bill, catch by surprise. Sunni and Shia have only been massacring one another for 1,400 years, so it shouldn't be too surprising that you get caught by surprise when it happens yet again and again and again and again. Now, seriously, I think that the problem is not lack of competence on the part of our intelligence services. They're somewhere between good and pretty good, and occasionally make mistakes. But they were in not bad shape on this one. General Flynn, the head of a Defense Intelligence Agency, made a very good call about back in February, about how something like this might happen. I think the problem is not the intelligence, and it's not the intelligence services. It's political correctness and the narrative. It's the political figures who get locked into what they call a narrative. And if something doesn't fit, the narrative is that we've already won the war against al-Qaeda. If something doesn't fit, then they fiddle with the facts in order to make it look okay. Put
yourself in a position of the average American who is watching me and other news broadcasters tell them the president was surprised by Putin seizing Crimea. The president was surprised that the VA wasn't seeing veterans the way they should. The president has no plan to confront the al-Qaeda army coming down from Syria. No plan at all. Now, that looks like somebody screwing up, Mr. Ambassador. It's got to be one or the other. The intelligence isn't giving him the information, or he can't handle the information. Which is
it? Those are all rather different. If he doesn't have a plan for dealing with attacks, and he needs a plan, he needs to ask for one. And if you ask for one and imply that you might use force, as he did with respect to Syria, and then you back down, you draw a red line, and then you step back over the red line and say, whoops, I didn't really mean it, that's not the intelligence service's fault.
I'm trying to figure out, and let's cut to the chase here. It looks like President Obama is either incompetent, or his security team in the White House is, and cannot process the intel coming in. Or the CIA and the DIA and the others aren't telling him. Which is it?
I think he's getting the intelligence and the opinions from his staff that he wants.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what I think you're saying to us is that President Obama's world view is the problem. He doesn't act or anticipate problems that don't fit in to his worldview. Correct?
I think that's a lot of it. It's a nice worldview. It's sort of a Chicago politics worldview. It's saying, look, I'll do a favor for you, and then I expect you to do a favor for me. And if you're dealing with the Brits, that might work in international affairs.
But not with the bad guys.
But not with the bad guys.
Mr. Ambassador, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.